Yeah, the Pentagon spokesman just announced Navy Secretary John Fillon is departing the administration effective immediately, saying, quote, "We wish him well in his future endeavors." It was not immediately clear from this post if he resigned or was fired, but Fox News has learned in the last few moments that he was fired.
Iran just opened fire on 3 commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. 2 of them were boarded. 2 of them are now sitting in Iranian ports. This is the first time it's happened since the ceasefire began. And the ceasefire, according to the White House, is still in effect. Let that sit for a second. I spent 20 years on submarines. I've operated in these waters. I know how the IRGC fights in the Strait, and what happened today changes the picture. There is other massive breaking news coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to get that into a second. Smash a like and subscribe button. Follow me down below at Navy Vet. You'll keep up with all of the intelligence as I gather it as soon as I can. But here's what we know right now. The IRGC, the Navy, they're small boats, they're attack boats. They're small, fast, cheap, hard to kill from the air. One of them, ship 1, was a Liberia flag container ship hit with small arms and rocket-propelled grenades to the bridge northeast of Oman. The crew is safe. Ship 2, a Greek-operated container ship, was told it had permission to transit 8 nautical miles west of Iran. It was boarded. It was seized, taken to the Iranian coast. Ship 3, another Liberia flag vessel, fired on, not damaged, kept moving. 3 ships, 1 day, 2 seizures. Now, here's what matters. There is a story right now coming out of Washington, D.C. President Trump apparently is not happy with what is going on. It's the only thing that I can sort of connect these dots with. I will just let you see this, and I want you to decide, because your comments is what drives this, and I want your opinion on this situation.
Would have faced death threat.
A shakeup at the Pentagon, another one. The Navy Secretary departing his post. What do we know?
Yeah, the Pentagon spokesman just announced Navy Secretary John Fillon is departing the administration effective immediately, saying, quote, "We wish him well in his future endeavors." It was not immediately clear from this post if he resigned or was fired, but Fox News has learned in the last few moments that he was fired. He had a very close relationship, apparently, with Donald Trump Jr. and just hosted a bridal shower for his fiance this past weekend in Palm Beach.
So the Secretary of the Navy was just fired, John Phelan. So that should tell you what the President of the United States is thinking right now with the response, with the actions in the Gulf of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf of Oman, the Arabian Gulf. He has to be tracing this back. Either the Secretary of War or the President is not happy with what the Navy is doing. That is what happens. When changes need to be made, the president spares no relationship. He will sever ties. Now, there is more information coming out of the Gulf of Oman, the Strait of Hormuz, with regards to all of these ships being attacked.
Attacked by Iran and the seizure of 2 out of the 3 container ships in the Strait that they confronted.
So you see right here, this is very, very telling about our blockade is working, because these attacks on these ships are closer into the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman. It is where the Iranians feel comfortable. And that's what really matters right now, because they know whenever they get out into the open sea, when they get out of sight of their own blockade, the game is over. The United States Navy, in my opinion, has done a fantastic job with these offending ships. Now, the reason that this Secretary of Navy was fired, I don't have that yet. That information has not been released, but you can see here, he departed abruptly. If you're not carrying your weight, the President of the United States is going to make a move. This is a surprise Pentagon shakeup, and you know it's because of the way that things are going. Donald Trump has a way of making moves at the right time, and he is not wasting time. This has to happen. These vessels cannot be continued to be attacked. The Strait of Hormuz is laced with mines. Apparently, this could take up to 6 months to clear this. I don't believe the president wants to have ships in that area for that long, because you know as well as I do that one wrong move by the Iranians and we lose a ship. We lose more of these crew members. The president has extended the ceasefire. He is waiting for this proposal to come back from the Iranians. They need to work out amongst themselves who is actually pulling the shots. I don't know if it's the IRGC. I don't know if it's the people in Tehran. I don't believe they know. Leave a comment down below. Who do you think is actually in charge in Iran? The tail is wagging the dog, so to speak. And Iran better figure this out, because if it continues like this, where they continue to seize these ships, the president is going to pull the trigger. He is not going to allow this to continue. The Iranians, every day that the Iranians keep the strait closed, they lose $500 million. They're about to meet their capacity on stored oil. And once they do that, they're going to have to shut off these oil rigs. They're going to shut them off. They will cap them. That flow will never resume to the amount that it is right now. And the United States is going to be holding all of the cards. The Iranians know this. OPEC knows this. More importantly, China knows this. Every day that the president keeps this blockade up, it hurts China indirectly. And that is the beautiful part of this entire move, because it puts all of the pressure on the Iranians. The longer this goes on, the more damage is done to Russia and China through a proxy, which is the Iranian regime. It's a beautiful move. There is no blame at the president's feet or on the United States Navy. We keep the blockade shut, and all of the pressure, all of the pain goes to the Iranians. You know, there are backroom calls coming from Xi Jinping, from Vladimir Putin, probably from North Korea, saying, hey, you better cut a deal because we need our oil. That's what's happening. Now, with all of this being said, the markets are responding. The S&P up 74 points. The Dow is close to 50,000 again. The NASDAQ is up 400 points. The economy is recovering. The money coming to the United States for oil is amazing. It's going to work itself out. The one thing right now that is causing this bottleneck on cost, we have more oil than we can refine, because the previous administration, the Biden administration, shut down all of these refineries. You all know that as well as I do, the refineries in California that were shut down. Now, with Iran seizing these ships, the cost of insurance on these ships from Lloyd's in London is going to drive some of this. And the longer it happens, the more often it happens. That's how this works. And you can see more of these ships on the horizon that are worried. They are worried because Iran says that they have no plan for holding talks. But I don't think they have a choice right now. I'd love to get your opinion. Does Iran have a choice? Are they holding any cards that would allow them to make any relevant decision about what's happening? There's more news that at least 34 Iran-linked ships left or moved through the strait. I don't believe this. This is coming from the Iran International newspaper. The Wall Street Journal also reported on that. You and I both know the leanings of some of these publications. I don't want to talk bad about them here, but sometimes we have to. Now, this is the Iranian Navy. This is who we're competing against. Speedboats with 5 dudes holding flags, and it looks like a 240, maybe an M60. It very well could be a 50 cal. But that is what's holding up the world's economy, these clowns. It's kind of sad to say that, but that's exactly what's happening. We've got other news right here. The UK MTO, this is the maritime trading. They are releasing reports about these ships, where they were attacked at, and who has been attacking them. The report coming out today, there were 3 attacks, and we already talked about it. Some of these have been seized. The United States Navy is going to get involved at another level. And I believe that's part of the reason that this Secretary John Phelan was fired, because we cannot continue to allow this to happen. Now, we've all seen these swarms, these boat swarms, and this is a satellite image, and you can see it here. These are multiple speedboats, these bay liners, and there very well could be explosives on these things, going like the old USS Cole maneuver. This is a satellite image of these swarms moving in, and you can see it here. It's a little more zoomed in. So this is a problem. This could very well get out of hand really quickly. But I do think that the United States Navy, with these Aegis cruisers, these Spruance class destroyers, with these ARGs, with the vessel boarding teams, with the Marine Corps, we are going to get a resolution from this. And it's just a matter of time before this escalates. I don't think that's what the president wants. And part of this de-escalation could be by removing the Secretary of Navy, getting rid of him in this surprise shakeup. It is a move that the president will make. He did make. And I don't think he is, I don't think the president is out of moves right now. He wants shipping to get back to normal. He wants the world's economy to start thriving. And if he needs to fire a few people to make that happen, that's exactly what he's going to do. I don't know what you think about this. This is the Ben Dykes Show. Smash the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.